Okay, he's got a picture of a chessboard here. That's a professional picture. As such, I expect a professional opening, and we are not disappointed here. There we go. Queen's Gambit right on cue. Now, I'm also expecting probably a decent variation from him. Anyone with a profile picture of like you at an actual chessboard, you know, most likely at a tournament, I do expect a decent variation here. And so far, so good. I'm going to take this. We'll see which line he plays. There's two very decent moves here. I will say I'm excited for our opponent to potentially play this line correctly because we've seen this a lot. No one's played it, you know, what I would say is correct yet. So like I said, I'm curious to see if it will be our opponent here. I have to admit, b6 does not feel correct. Maybe I'll throw this in. Just if he plays here, it can be kind of annoying, and we don't want to trade that. And maybe c6, he's a little bothered by. We'll see. Let's go back for now. We just want to get developed castle. But I'd rather have this here so that if he plays this, you know, it's blocked for the moment. He's going to castle as well. Let's castle. Okay, so bishop a6. Naturally, we don't want to make it that easy for him. So, you know, my first consideration is just c4. Makes perfect sense when you think about what he wants to achieve. Now, there's still a difficult part here. He's going to have some moves. Maybe he wants to play c5. I don't know. Knight d7. But I like our center here. It looks pretty good. Yeah, he does play this. So let's play d5. Well, I definitely like our position here. Bishop b2 maybe. Get on that diagonal. What do we like here? I kind of like bishop b2. We could also go to this diagonal, but let's put it here. I'm thinking if he takes, we could take with the c pawn. That way we have e5 and d6 ideas. Definitely taking this way opens up the bishop though, so I'm torn. I'm not really sure what the best idea is. both look pretty good. I think I am going to take this way. You know, the one thing about this is, you know, he can play this, but it's just not a good move anymore. Let's take this way. This makes sense. We can go e5, bishop takes, and queen takes d5 if he takes, but I think probably not. Let's bring rook e1. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, there should be a tactic here. Yeah, d6 and e5 here. But our position just looks amazing, right? We got him to play c6 and then c5. Got him to play bishop a6, bishop back. Let's take this. Rook's coming to d1. A lot of really nice pressure here. Plus, obviously, we're winning a piece, so the game's over. This one, you name it. You name it, I'm threatening it. That just came down to the center, right? We had the full control there. I feel like starting with this makes perfect sense. He may play this in order to play queen takes, but I think that actually loses just because the rook is hanging there. So I think I will take here. For sure he'll take that, and then he's in trouble now because he's got a couple things loose. Okay. More than a couple. GG. Well, I have to admit, I had high hopes for him based on the profile picture. He didn't quite live up to it. It was a good start, but we have yet to see anybody play this move correctly. And so I'm actually forced to call it a mistake. And it seems weird to call it a mistake because it's a very high level variation here, an option for black. But if you're not going to follow it up correctly, I have to call it a mistake because conventional understanding is recapture with a pawn in the center. These lower rated players are playing knight takes d5, letting me play e4. I'm getting the whole center for nothing. So as I've gone up in rating, I'm expecting that at some point someone's going to play this line correctly, but it just hasn't happened yet. So I get the whole center, and then normally what you're supposed to do is c5. Immediately attack the center. A couple people have played this, but no one's really played the correct variation, and truly one of the only ways to play this line properly, which is bishop b4 check. It just, again, doesn't happen. So in this case, he plays b6. It's just not good. I mean, white's just very satisfied here. Bishop a6, c4. And we just have a phenomenal position, and white's completely winning without even being up material yet. Well, the game ends pretty quickly against the 2200. So I got to start calling it a mistake. Like, nobody knows how to play knight d5, so they got to stop doing it. This is not an acceptable decision unless you know specifically, oh, I know this line, I play c5, I play bishop b4. Because they don't know that, this is just a mistake, big mistake. Let me have the whole center and pay the price for it. All right, go d4 and see what the response is. Knight f6. See if it's going to be a... Okay, so Benoni, Benko, kind of depends here. Let's find out. Okay, so we have another Benko. D6. Normally people that play this variation, they like this Queen A5 move. Standard. He isn't castled yet, but he will do. Okay. Knight takes A6. So after this one, I guess we need to do something with this. Bishop D2, knight there. Yeah, it's kind of all the same. So the question is, how do we keep everything defended in a good way? This one doesn't really do much about that. Still an interesting move. I'll try this. Put our bishop out here, I guess. Try to take it back with the knight, although pawn takes does come to mind here. Like maybe this and queen d2. He takes, knight takes. We got to watch out for this pawn. So which do I prefer? Maybe this one. Say, okay, you can take me. Take back with the pawn. Everything is at least defended there for the moment. H3 perhaps. A reasonable move there. Would be fine to play H6, I guess. Benko's always a fun opening to play. Until you get to play like regular title players, then all of a sudden it's just not that fun anymore. That's what sucks about this opening. Okay, we do have a choice, but I guess I'll take with the pawn. Stop h6 here, and I think I also want to play rook a3 next. I like this move because it helps me double, and I know that he can't take it because then the knight would be in trouble. So okay, let's see, is it time for this? Do we have this kind of time to invest? I think we do. Let's go for it. It's always a useful move, right? Knight wants to go there. I get it. Maybe b3, like try to stop knight there. You can put the knight on d3. I'm not exactly sure what it's doing there. I want a knight here, but that's not that easy to achieve. Maybe this. Oh, let's try a little something here. I don't think he knows what to do. I feel like he's trying to flag me here. So we gotta, you know, we're gonna respond accordingly. How do we feel about this one? Feel like we need to move some pieces. That's how I feel. How do we defend this, actually? I think I'm gonna play here. Yeah, it's my bishop, but what I really want to do is bring all my pieces here. Got an open H file. It's pretty much all we can hope for. Let's go back. How can we get rid of that? I guess we're just leaving everything. I have an extra pawn. We're just kind of existing. We're just existing. Ah, not this. Not this. We're losing some stuff here. What can we do? We got a B pawn. That's about it. Check. Drop this pawn. B pawn from hell. Okay, hang on. We're breathing here. Queen takes F2. We have 0.1. Ow! We are so slow. I haven't played a blitz game in about a couple months now. So despite these reasonable positions, we're just like asleep. I like the name too, Treem Gree. Have to admit, I probably wasted about 5 seconds this game reading his name and kind of nodding in appreciation. You know, there was a point where he was just kind of shuffling, wasn't really doing anything, but you know, we're not about to shuffle back. Maybe he knew that about us. This was his best move of the game. I like this one. Wasn't clear what we were doing at some point, and you know, once he solidified here, he actually has just a great visual position, right? Everything looks fantastic, and you know, he took his one opportunity. I think this was the only moment where something was loose, hanging, and boom, c4. That's a heavy hitting move. F2 pawn falls, and then you're just kind of not really doing anything after that. Okay, let's give another d4 game a go. Not quite this time. Didn't hit the d5 lottery. I'll still play c4. Knight c3. Feels like this setup is consistent with what we want to be playing. Let's see. I'm gonna play a3. I actually really dislike playing against bishop b4. Just feels like that's the only thing that black's trying to do, and so I like to play against it. Okay. Like e3. Okay, so we got a stone wall here. We have a stone wall. Let's see if, you know, we can handle it correctly. Obviously, black is going to... Okay, it's nice to trade those bishops, though. But yeah, obviously, black is going to get that piece in. Thinking about probably knight here. Of course, we don't really want to take that. Okay, let's play h4 against that. Knight needs to move. We can certainly jump in with this one, but I may hold off. Well, let's go back here. We get some nice dark squares here. Knight f4. And knight f4 looks good. We're hitting a couple things here. It's like easy to miss that. Let's see. I think that g3 is the way to go. Just nice and solid. We have to expect e5 at some point by our opponent. Doesn't quite happen. I still like our position a lot. Now what do we do? What do we do? Can probably crash through here. We should have a nice game just because everything's closed off here. E5 we can only assume is a pretty serious move, but it takes a lot of effort to actually make that happen. Put some kind of pressure here. I don't know if we want to go right away. I'm gonna take this mainly because I don't think he can take that way, so we'll see. He takes this way. And I think knight takes, take back, and try to put some pressure on that pawn. Now, so we're gonna have a weakness here, but my hope is that the weakness here just is much more annoying for him to deal with. Well, let's see if we're right. Let's see if we are correct. Queen b3 I like a lot. Kind of force him on the defensive. We got a lot of dark square pawns, that's for sure. Okay, so we have the full defensive setup for him. Maybe king up. Position is just so visually satisfying, isn't it? Okay, we have our king, you know, kind of contributing here. Let's take this. I'm not so sure about that one. This position should be quite good here. I don't know about these. Yeah, in some ways, we'll probably play f3. I think that's the way through here. Doesn't really have anything over there, so f3 makes the most sense. Of course, we're going to push the h-pawn, but I was actually certain that we would actually be able to take there, but I don't see any tactic. Where is the tactic that wins? I'm still not seeing one. Where's the tactic that wins there? Well, again, we're so sluggish. Feels like I haven't played any meaningful chess in a while. It's probably a good thing we're playing these speed runs, but oh man, I'm just asleep here. What a nice position. Wow, this is like it doesn't get better than this. But maybe you know, maybe just tough to break through. I don't know. This feels like pretty much a dream here. Also king on b4, but maybe if we make every decision a little bit faster, then we get to actually play our position the way we're supposed to with f3, because by the time we did that, like, it should be very good, but it just took us so long to do so. I was thinking maybe only in the conclusion of the game that, you know, if these were flipped, it would be nice, but not easy to do, to get the queen in front from here. It's like pretty shocking that his position holds here. I feel like there should be a forced loss. I don't actually see anything though. Like, of course the H pawn should move, but rook takes f5. Okay, yeah, but only because the H pawn covers this. So it was very specific that it was like right on H5, because when the pawn's on H6, then I don't get that benefit anymore. Interesting. Yeah, maybe rook takes and queen e5 is the way. You're just getting these positions where white is so like not just better, because okay, you know, have a small advantage here and there, but better in a way where the opponents are just shuffling, but I'm half asleep here. All right, d4. Okay, we gotta, you know, sit up in the chair. Yep, Queen's Gambit. These are the ones that matter. Bishop e7. Don't think we've seen this before. I usually like to take bishop f4 because we don't have g5 available. And bishop f5. Let's go for g4. This is some sort of theory here. I think h4 is the move. Bishop takes h4, queen b3, and the queen is kind of stuck defending that bishop. I think it's just g5, but I'm trying to remember if there are any other options. Yeah, I think g5. This knight usually wants to go there, although knight f3, knight e5 looks pretty decent. This knight has nowhere to go, so it's not a great piece. We can trade queens, but I think I want to do a little bit better than that. Let's just go here. Bishop h3 looks nice. I mean, like hitting the knight. This move looks, I assume it loses on the spot. Doesn't look like a good move. Right into all the danger, and yeah, we have rook c1 coming next, which is just the end of the game. But yeah, I mean, this is just lethal here. Rook takes c6, queen a5, and then yeah, it's pretty much mate. Okay, he's gonna resign there. Yeah, like I said, you know, we lock in for these Queen's Gambit ones. The one thing about this speedrun is, I tell you, once we get the Queen's Gambit, it's over. I haven't seen a good opening against the Queen's Gambit in a while. This one's a bit different. Bishop e7. The whole point of this variation is black is trying to prevent bishop g5. Basically, if we play, like, I don't know, another move, then black says, okay, now I can go here and I avoid some other tricky lines. But because against knight f6 we would take, against bishop e7 we take as well, and then there's no option to play bishop here, so we have to play bishop f4, e3, and this is normal. Now, I've told you in the Queen's Gambit, there's no way that black should be able to play bishop f5. That's a move that our opponent shouldn't be able to achieve, right? It's Queen's Gambit. We do not make this easy to accomplish. Here, it looks like black's accomplished it, which is why we're playing g4 and h4. So this is some theory here. If you take, then queen b3, and you have a hard time defending this pawn here, right? You can't use your queen due to the hanging bishop. You can play b6, but at this point, there's a really nice sacrifice. You can take here. You can take on d5. I think bishop b5 or queen d5 first, one of these two moves, but this is a very, very winning position for white. So something to be absolutely avoided for black. But yeah, h4, g5. And at this point, yeah, bishop h3. I think white has an unbelievably good position. Knight e2. You can play f3 if necessary. Maybe the bishop moves, knight f4. This knight is 100% trapped. The bishop doesn't really have anywhere to go either. It's not an easy position for black, so you can understand long castle, but knight d5 is game over on the spot. And that's how the game ended in 12 moves, so. Hooray! All right. That's what we can only half celebrate. Yeah, that's the reason why. This is barely better. At least it is d4, but it is not the Queen's Gambit. Okay. Interesting move. Gonna be able to play f4, I suppose. take. I don't know, castle. Probably put these pieces here. Knight's gotta retreat. All right, not quite Queen's Gambit. We're getting closer though. We have the D4 part of it. This looks like a pretty nice position. These pieces are kind of stuck there. I don't think he can really move any of these pieces. Like maybe he could play this. Yeah. Don't think this one is too dangerous. Whoa. That just can't be a good move. What the heck is that? Yeah, that's... Oh my goodness. What are these moves here? Maybe this one. I don't know. Everything's hanging here. This is kind of a disaster of a game. Okay. Like I said, it was D4, but it wasn't much... wasn't much happening there. Okay. We'll keep the hope up that we can finally get a D4, D5 game. It must happen at least once in this 22 to 2300 part. Okay, we have played this person. Did we... I don't think we were playing... It's funny, we're playing the same opening here. I don't think this was the person we just played. It must have been the... Okay, well, it must have been the hippo player, right? I think that's the only explanation. I guess there's this one. We'll have a few fake threats there for a couple moves before we're really lost. Castles, I guess. Yeah, B4 is a bit annoying, isn't it? Okay, here's one of our fake threats. We got one in. I think this one's probably the move I would do. This is probably good, but I wouldn't care for that, so I would certainly take the safe approach there with that one. I'm not sure what to do after that. Maybe queen here, stop castling. We really don't have that many ideas. I'll choose this. Yes, this is possible, but I thought that maybe he wouldn't care for this. I mean, it's not great, but there's some ideas here. Yeah, so this is mainly annoying because we have to trade the queens. This one we can't do. Every pawn is falling, so there is that. I wish we could do this and get the rook in, but not quite. And we Also can't play this. So we're in a bit of a spot of bother here. I think I have to try to protect the d pawn and play c5. I don't really know what else to do, so let's go for that. We go here. I think we have to. Bring the bishop back. Play c6. Well, we get some material back. We're down a full rook, so you know the comeback would be improbable, but I got a few threats here. Don't count me out completely. Count me out, just not completely, you know. Definitely count me out. We have to do it. That's the sad part. I don't really see another idea. Probably losing this a pawn. I don't really see a way around that. Ah, that's tough. Yeah, I don't really see any options for us here. Nothing good, at least. I don't really see any ideas. I don't see any ideas. I suppose we can push the pawn and maybe, oh, if the bishop was taken. Oh, damn. I was in a stalemate position for half a second there. We had a moment there. No, d4, d5. What are you supposed to do? Our brain can't turn on unless, you know, it's like a trigger, like d4, d5. Okay, we're locked in. Anything but. Can't explain it. b4, don't know what to do here. What happened this game? I think it came down to b5, b4 here. I mean, you're just losing heavy material, so to be honest, we kind of won some of it back. I thought we had a little bit of a chance there, but no, we never really pulled it back to the point where we actually were in the game again. Just hopes. Yeah, maybe castles. I don't know, h5, g4. Played these positions a few times. Ooh, okay, OTB player. All right, he's got that professional picture there. That means it's no surprise to see a professional opening. Notice how the pawn takes back. Okay, this is a position we can expect. Castle. It will be maybe some knight e4 move, but that's okay. Let's take. I usually like rook e1 so that we can play f3 next. Knight e6, knight g7, bishop f5 is kind of a typical idea. Interesting. I think we're probably going to play e4, but let's think for a sec. Of course, b4 is the idea. We could dodge by moving the knight, but e2 is not yet available. Actually, I really like the queen back on c2 against this move. It's leaving a big weakness on the C file, so that's the first thing I'm looking at. But the main thing is just E4, and it's kind of hard to refuse E4. Okay. Okay. We're gonna play down a rook here. These these Queen's Gambit games are just never competitive. I don't know. It's so strange. Is there a convincing path to victory? I'm not sure. I guess we can attack this for now. Okay. I mean, again, definitely a good opening, I have to say, but all things considered, the mistake came pretty quickly from our opponents, so we never really got into this game. Yeah, it's never anything too special here, but usually queen f2 followed by e4, maybe take with the pawn or any of the pieces. Just because we have e4, I think white's always a bit better here. e4, and okay, game is in trouble now for black. You do need to capture, and then I would probably take this pawn at the end. We would have been up a pawn, but he decided to make us go up a rook. Not complaining. All right, let's go for d4. And we've certainly seen c5 before. We're more or less in a, Benoni at the moment. Yeah, never allowed b5, and yeah, we've had this position before. Haven't seen h6 too often. Try this. Something about this feels like it shouldn't really work. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely don't buy this. Let's see if we can find the win here. Queen e4 looks very, very strong. I think that might be the move. Or queen e8, queen e4. But queen e8, knight e4. I mean, that looks very good. It's just that somehow I feel that like queen e4, queen h7 is almost the way we want to be doing this, but knight e4 just looks so damn good. So I guess we're gonna do this one. Bishop d7, knight f6. Yeah, it has to work out. There's also this really nasty mate idea of knight h5. It's really difficult to prevent, to be honest. I have a feeling you might play this move. It's easy to miss this. Because what else do you do? Bishop e5 looks like it loses. Actually, bishop e5, I'll do exactly what I just said. I think I'll play knight g3. And that checkmate idea is really hard to prevent. So I think I will do that. You could also try queen d7, I guess. But nonetheless, I'm going to take on f6 and play queen h8, rook e1, and that looks lost. So I don't know what to recommend here. It looks pretty bad because knight f6 works in every variation. Not to mention we have bishop takes d6, f8 coming. Yeah, queen d8 or queen e7 can both be played. I'll take on f6. And then at the very least, the bishop will be hanging. I think this is just lost. That's mate, by the way. Not that there's any move to play other than king takes, but yeah, queen here, rook e1 will be the end of the game. Okay, so he does take here, but obviously this is lost. Not much in that one. It's a good game. Benoni, like I said, just not a top tier opening choice at all, so you should be very happy every time you see it. I particularly like this setup with h3 because it plays against this bishop beautifully and you can just never develop it. And yeah, after e5, honestly, I think the position's lost. I don't have a good move to recommend here. Everything's hanging. There's no development. I mean, the king's getting attacked pretty nicely. d4, c5. We have seen this quite a bit, haven't we? Okay, e5. Let's do this. We actually played this exact opening if we see bishop e7 and bishop there. So that will be fairly familiar. I'll go here and let that happen, I suppose. Knight here, definitely unusual move. Okay. Knight b6 is a move you should be a little bit concerned about, I would assume. That rook is absolutely terrible. Okay, important moments here. So we can lock that rook in with knight a4, meaning like it's never going to be able to return. Main question is, what do we do on this side of the board? Nothing. I don't think we need to do anything there. I don't know. I think I'll just leave things as they are. Let's take this one back. f3. Do we take that light squared bishop? Okay, we'll play this. We have to play b4. It's the main source of any type of counterplay, compensation, etc., etc. So we certainly will play it. And I think now's as good a time as any. I'll take with the pawn. I don't know. It looks like it keeps everything nice and together. This rook is terrible. It's always a knight c4 move. King e2. Knight c4, like rook over. Thinking of knight c4, but I don't really want to let that rook out till we have to. What do we want to do here? Gonna trade this for this would be nice. Queen b6 next. Yeah, I think queen b6. Okay, rook takes is coming. I think this is maybe the easiest at this point. This knight's also pinned. I wouldn't mind sacrificing for it. That's a check. Lots wrong with the position. Also have like tons of time here. GG. Once again, that Benoni is just not making a good impression this series. I like to go for the quick a5 just to ensure we get some nice counterplay there, and it synergizes with this knight maneuver, and then this one, all about the b6 square. So we're kind of abandoning our king side a little bit in favor of that pressure. And the pawn structure should be fantastic here. Big weaknesses on yeah, these 3 pawns, and then this rook is also 100% trapped, so really brutal position. And rook a8, he thought we were going to take this way, but knight takes is much better, I think, keeping the rook trapped. Oh, that's a friendly pick there, and a friendly opening. All right, we're in here with the Queen's Gambit. We've got a Slav here. Will it be semi-Slav or more traditionally developing the bishop? Let's go here. And bishop g4 is played. I always like to do this, and for now I'm playing g4 knight e5 h4. It just tends to work out well, and even if we don't win a bishop, by the way, nice move from our opponent here. First one to not get in serious trouble, because now black has time to respond with h5, but okay, we still take the bishop, so we're happy enough. Yeah, we have the bishop pair. Knight on b8 doesn't have immediate squares. I think we can play g5 here. Just trying to remember. Maybe we hold off. I'll start with this. Here or bishop here. I don't like maybe this one, so I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, I do like g5 though. I think it should be included. Just knight h5 is, it blocks everything, but it's very offside and doesn't really have an immediate way back into the game. Knight h7 is also pretty bad. So maybe knight g8, and he does play it. This might be a game where we where we need a move like e4 or takes and then e4. It feels like that sort of position. Yeah, I'm not really going to think about this too hard. Looks good. Feels like it should be included. d4 is hanging, but I don't know. So is b7, and he's opening the d file. It just doesn't look correct. I think this is a game where the move d5, like including the move d5 in the right moment, will be very important. So let's see. Knight b6, bishop a5 is just winning immediately. Although I can see it happening because he wants to prevent d5. So let's see. Goes bishop there. I do like bishop here. It's all about this d5 move. We can play it now with knight d6, but I'm not sure that's enough. Gotta play this, I think, without more calculation, just because it opens the game. It must be correct, right? We have 2 bishops, kings in the middle. Everything points to this being the correct move. Knight there, bishop back. Don't think we take that or anything. Maybe, actually. It's pretty nasty. 97's no good. Can't move the knight anywhere else. And c5. I think we just take it. Normally, I'd never give up my bishop like that, but I don't know. This is definitely something. Knight e7, rook d7, rook c5, mate once again. Not exactly sure how you get out of this. Have to play knight e7, right? And then rook d7, and again, you can't take this because of mate. Yeah, that looks pretty brutal. But it makes sense. The entire game opened up, whole center, blasted open. King was in the middle. We had the bishop pair. Like, if that's not a good position for white, then I'm starting to doubt my chess understanding. GG. Yeah, rook d8 double check. So there's no way out of that. Yeah, this is a big problem for black. So this is what I mean, like these lines where black brings the bishop out, I've said time and time again, black should not be able to get the bishop out for nothing. So this, once again, we play h3, we play g4. We never let black just like have this position and play bishop e2. Something random, right? That's not good enough. No, we need to play this opening in order to always put pressure somewhere. So at least here, black played great. This is actually the best move in the position. We still get the bishop pair. It's still something for us. And it's a small advantage. So at the very least, we just have a nice looking position. We're going to play all these moves. At some point, we're going to play g5. I really like this move. There's no good choices. Knight h5 looks like a safe square, but it's completely offside and it'll never join the game again. So in some ways, you feel like you're down a piece. Knight h7 is even worse, honestly. So knight g8. But you see I'm opening the center and it's like black isn't even mobilized yet. So long castle, like rook e1, e4, and there's no way black's ready for that game. Okay, we played this guy before. I think he played the alien gambit on us. So makes sense that he's playing gambits here, right? That adds up. Plays d6. I think I'm just gonna play e4. I know people that play gambits are usually not, first of all, not very good at these positions. But yeah, certainly don't want to play them either. So we're playing the man here. Okay, this one, I guess. Interesting. Probably the first player ever who like is like a definite gambit player who actually is willing to play an endgame. They pretty much don't exist, I have to say. Putting some pawns on dark squares here. Nothing to see, nothing to see. This one, I can wait maybe. Probably knight back there. This move, I feel that we should play h4. Can start bringing our king maybe. We definitely have g3. Here, knight back, try to go for this pawn. I think so. This. Could throw that in. I don't know if that benefits me though. I'll just take, I guess. This feels correct. Right? We should be up a pawn there, and knight d3, we can do that. Knight e5 also hits the bishop, which is nice. This knight feels very strong. It's like kind of covering everything. Let's do it. I'm not quite sure that this actually gets the job done for us, but let's see. I guess so. I guess so. Okay. Well, friendly finish, that's for sure. I have to put my hands together. It's the first time I've ever seen someone, and this is someone who played the Alien Gambit, by the way. It's the first time I've ever seen someone willing to play an endgame who is a natural piece sacker, gambit player. Those don't go together. You never find that in the same person, but he is completely willing here. It's like, wow. Somehow he's so objective in this position, and yet that same objective player right here is also sacking a piece. Alien Gambit. I didn't realize, but this guy's a dangerous opponent. All that packed into one player. Can you imagine Salty Clown if he was like very, very good at endgames? I don't know. It just wouldn't make sense. This guy's the full package. Okay, we got d4. That's a good sign. As we progress up, we have seen the Queen's Gambit less and less. But also, you know, I do think like lower rated players, they play whatever's theirs. But as you get higher rated, when you have a username like the Queen's Gambit, I will say, like, if I face someone with a username, like, I actively go out of my way to just give them the middle finger. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not playing d5. That's my main move. It's my bread and butter. It's what I live for. I'm not playing it, you know? Go screw yourself. The Queen's Gambit. You think I'm dumb enough to play the Queen's Gambit? Like, it's not happening, pal. But that's something that only happens as you get higher rated. You know, you start to think that way. Go all out. Yeah, so he's going to close the position here, but you'd be surprised. This doesn't necessarily mean that White's position is the one that's difficult to attack with. So let's see. C5 looks pretty natural here. Let's maybe play king here first. Should we? Or C5 straight away? Yeah, I'm gonna play it a bit slower. Makes sense now, I think. Like, I've got this C5 move, he's got G4 on the other side. We both have our moves. Play Queen D3 next. I like this. I also like Rook A2. Could be useful to watch the G pawn. For now, everything seems decently defended. So he wants to do this. I guess we can do this and Rook B7. Well, here, I mean, I guess he's barely surviving. We have a funny draw here. I guess. I guess we do this. We gotta keep our queen here, I feel. I don't really know what comes next, so I'll just do this and try to play Rook B8. That feels pretty good. I don't know that I can play this, actually. I'd like to. Queen B5. For now, we'll make a threat here. Okay. This one actually could be played. I have to consider that one in the future. I'm still watching this. I don't think there's any scary queen moves there. They look scary, but I don't think they are. Guess we take. Should be 7 is useful. Kick the knight back. Then my queen's not tied down. One day we'll remove this knight, like a knight c5 move. Definitely the right moment for this, I feel. G2 is hanging. I don't think he has any checks, so. Oh my god. That move wasn't playable. I mean, okay, not a big deal. Would have traded the queens and still winning, but you didn't really see the queen there. He kind of made some random queen move. I was like, okay, a random queen move. Let me get inside here and see what happens. Queen f8, and just, you know, deliver checkmate. But queen a7 was actually a surprisingly useful move. Not only did it make his first threat, but it also did stop this. Okay, not a big deal because I had 2 queens, but still. Didn't actually notice it was defended. Once again, you know, you're seeing less and less Queen's Gambit because I'm telling you, at those higher elos, people actively, they just want to piss you off. They don't want you to play the thing that's in your username. Like if, for example, if I saw someone with a username, Alien Gambit Quick KO, and then we played the Caro-Kann. First of all, I might not even play the Caro-Kann, but certainly if there was the option to decline the Alien Gambit, I probably would. Because why am I going to sit here and play the Alien Gambit against someone with a username like that? I wouldn't do it. It wouldn't make sense. So I'm sitting here with the username The Queen's Gambit, and I promise you this is actively preventing me from getting the opening. I promise you we would have the Queen's Gambit more if this wasn't the username. Because I look like a massive nerd fanboy of the Netflix series who's like giga thirsty to play the Queen's Gambit. Nothing would make me happier, you know? And so it brings high rated players great pleasure to deny that entirely. And to be honest, I understand it. And I think this was an error when creating the account. So I'm going to be noting this for the future.
Well done. You made it to the end of another episode in the Queen's Gambit speedrun. Make sure to like the video and leave a comment down below if you enjoyed. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss the next episode.